Hi guys, welcome to Mastering Project Planning channel. So in today's video, we'll be discussing about how excavation works or performed in the oil and gas process plant. So I will split this into two sections. So one is like pre-execution and the execution. So before starting the excavation, there are some documentation or procedures we need to follow in a oil and gas process plant. So there is a document called Excavation Authorization Permit. So what does it mean? So that means like you need to obtain a permit to perform the excavation on that particular area. So in this excavation authorization permit, there will be you need to attach the location of the plant. Then you need to mark the location where you are going to excavate, and what is your excavation dimensions. Like you need to provide the width, length, and depth. So if it is more than 1.2 meters in a process plant, especially where I work, they treat it as like a confined space. So then this means like you also need to take a confined space permit when you're going to execute the job. So then you may also in the excavation authorization permit, you may need to attach the old plan drawing. So this is a old plan. So then you need to request the engineering services like for the refinery, there will be engineering services. So that you need some plot plan drawings of that particular location. So you wanted to see the piping plan drawings, UG piping drawings, or uh, cable trench drawings and everything. So you may request to the engineering services, and they may provide you some hard copy of the drawings, or with some you can collect it in the soft copy as well. So then you need to check, put it in the system, and you need to check where you are going to, where your foundation is coming. So you can plot that area, and you will come to know like what are all the underground utilities available passing over that zone. So what are the underground utilities basically in a plant is like some kind of a gas pipeline could pass under the ground, or some hydrocarbon lines. You may also have some electrical live cables or instrumentation cables. So this in the along with the excavation authorization permit, you can mark like there is a marking, like we see like there is a cable passing over there, then or a gas pipeline is there. So then what are all the tools you will be using to perform the excavation also you need to mention. So as there is some underground utilities down, so you may allow to do only manual excavation where you may be using only the shovel. So then you also need to confirm like only there are any other utilities also passing over that location. So you may need to do the topographic survey and some ground scanning. So there are many ground scanning techniques like ground penetration radar, or like there is electromagnetic cable locator. So in one of our previous project where we used electromagnetic locator. So what does it what is this equipment mean? It is like it will have a transmitter, and it may have a receiver. So transmitter where we will be sending the electromagnetic signals. So this will be kind of arm. Then there will be a display also will be there in the top of that apparatus. Then you may need to go and where you're going to excavate, you may need to check that with this detector. So then if there are some any live utilities, it may show at that particular depth. The signals may increase or decrease. Then you will come to know like there are some live cables or some metallic pipes over there. So then you will come to know like in this depth and this particular location. So then you have to mark over there. Then the same you can also transfer it with your survey team, so that you get the coordinates as well. So then this equipment is suitable only for detecting some metallic pipes or some electric live cables. So but it does not, if the cable is dead, yeah, it will not detect that. So this everything you need to mark in that location. Then there will be many disciplines or many teams who will need to provide their approval. So that like in a normal process plant, there will be like a general services team. So they will be they will be routing these water pipelines, or drinking water or potable pipelines. Then there will be instrumentation electrical team. So they will be telling like any electrical cables based on their experience, they will also write something like there is a possibility that some cable will be in this location. So then everything you need to consider it there. Then fire team, some fire water lines, so that you may also need to get it from them as well. Some telecom cable also could be there. So this everything you need to obtain the permission from them. Then sometimes the civil team or safety team, especially, you may also need to get the approval from the safety engineer, or the refinery safety engineer or team as well. Then operation team also you need to get approval. Then maintenance team as well, because as you're going to excavate in a gas plant, you don't know, like there could be some toxic gases present below the um, ground. So once you excavate the soil, there could be some toxic gases there. So they may also tell you to do some kind of gas testing before you start your excavation. So they also write in the permit, like you cannot start the excavation like that. You need to do the underground scanning before each when you start the excavation, because if you're damaging any live pipelines, the toxic gases may get released, or there is a possibility of fire explosion. Then if you're damaging the electrical cable, so then the plant may also get shut down. Some pumps or whatever there, it may get stopped. So this is a lot of hazards are involved here, so that we have this many procedures. So then if the depth is more than 1.2 meters, so then you may also need to do some kind of benching, or you need to provide a sloping kind of arrangements. Then what does it mean is like if you are going to excavate like for 2 meters wide, then if the depth is more than 2 meters, then the same 2 meters will not be there in the top of the ground level. So you may need to excavate more, as the soil collapses possibility is there. So maybe there are various norms, like 1 into 0.75 or 1 into 1. Like if you're going for 1 meter deep, then you need to also have the space for the horizontal, like you need to have 1 meter. So this based on the soil classification, these are there. So then you need to put like that benching drawings as well. Like if it is 2 meter width, so maybe for 1 meter it can be like 2 meter wide. Then above that 1.2 meter depth, so you maybe need to excavate like a 3 meter. So this is what we call as benching. So that drawing also you may need to attach. If the depth is also more, some 4 meters or 5 meters, then you may also need to provide some shoring kind of supports, where some steel frame members are to be placed over the edge. Some trench boxes you may need to use, so that the soil doesn't get collapsed when you are going for much deeper. So this everything you need to mention in that excavation authorization permit. Then as well as risk plan also, you need to have some emergency risk plan, because if the depth is more than 4 meters, so some incident happens, like the person is feeling he got dehydrated, felt unconscious. So then you cannot carry the person, and they cannot come through that access ladder. So then you may need to have some kind of risk mechanism, like we use like some kind of a tripods, where there will be a winch will be there. This all person who are excavating, they need to use a live harness. There will be a hook, so that the person felt unconscious, though based on that winch and the rope, this it will be tied to that harness, and the person will be pulled up. So this also you need to mention in your that excavation authorization permit. Like if there is some gas leaks, so then you need to have some kind of mask. There is scava and different types of things are there, apparatus like self content breathing apparatus we call, like some, if the oxygen content is low, then you also need to ensure that oxygen cylinders are kept over there. Then the people need to inhale that with the hoses, and there will be a mask, face mask will be there and everything. So this even that oxygen content also you need to check how much oxygen is there. And so this everything you need to put in that excavation authorization permit. And sometimes they may also ask to attach the method statement or procedure. So what are the hazards are there, that also you need to mention in that permit. So maybe the hazards, or a lot of hazards are there, maybe I will cover those things in a separate video. Like there is a possibility, like you need to barricade those areas, because the person unknown may fall into that pit, so then you may get fracture or injury. So then you also need to ensure that no heavy loads are not placed over the edge of the excavated soil. Then there is a high possibility that the soil will get collapsed and caving will happen. Then the people working under the excavation may get covered with the soil. So that is also one of the major safety hazards. So this everything you need to attach in that excavation authorization permit. So once everyone is signed, then you also need to mention the duration. So when you're planning to start, when you're planning to finish, and so what is your timing as well. So you need to mention that we'll be taking a daily uh, permit for execution, like permit to work. So this excavation authorization, maybe the validity could be like 15 days or 1 month, based on the nature of the criticality of the nature of the job. So then once everyone is signed, so then it means that the it will be signed. So then you have the excavation authorization permit. So then you are allowed to start the excavation of that particular area. But if it is a depth is more than 1.5 meter, then there is a like confined space authorization. They need to undergo the confined space training. Then there should be a confined space attendant who will be at the top, because if there is some people there is some risk inside or he collapses, then that person notify to the supervisor. Then the risk team comes and they risk the person. So there are a lot of stringent norms being followed in the oil and gas plant. So I will be covering the excavation hazards in the next video. If you like this type of contents and to know more about the how the projects are planned in the EPC projects, so then you can like, subscribe and follow the Mastering Project Planning channel. Thank you guys.